Nation's #1 urban sports talk show and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter. And guess what? Today is, along with Jim Hicks, and we got a very special guest. But guess what? I'm going to hold on because, Jimmy want to introduce. He like to introduce the guest, so I'm going to let him, give her little drum roll and all that. So we'll hold on. I know she's right in the middle. She's in my seat, so you know she got to be bad. But we're going to talk about, but it's Women Rock Wednesday. So guess what? We got a powerful woman in the house today. But before we go there, got something else for y'all. Happy Juneteenth Day to all you Texans, because I'm from Memphis. I wasn't familiar with that day that much until I got up here. And Jimmy, I'll let Jimmy, since he's a Houstonian, talk about that. But Jimmy, I want to share something with you today. On this day in 1986, the great Len Bias died. He was one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my life. Simply amazing. He was a Superman on the floor, played for Maryland. He was about to go, the NBA draft is tomorrow. He was the night before the draft, before he was going to be drafted. He had an overdose and died. Len Bias looked that up. And another thing I want to say, good Zion Eve. Jimmy, you talking about Friday Eve, we got Zion Eve, because tomorrow night would be the NBA draft. Zion Williamson would be the #1 all pick for the Pelicans. One of them. It's a whole lot of stuff going on with the Pelicans right now, and we'll talk about that a little later. But Jimmy, without further ado, I want you to introduce this special guest we have in the building on Women Rock Wednesday.
Oh man, this Women Rock Wednesday, boy. Welcome, of course, guys. It's going to be a great day on the Chop Shop. This is not your normal type of sports talk show. We have live in studio with us, Women Rock Wednesday. We have Tavi Lucas. Understand, every event operator in the country. If you were to go and peel back and just peek behind the curtain, there's a female that's running things. And she's running things with the John Lucas Enterprises and has been for the past decade or so. And so now, this is going to be some fun stuff, guys. I'm talking about, first of all,
don't tell them it's going to be fun. Let's just make it fun. Yeah. Come on,
I'm excited to be here. This is my first radio show.
Really? They say you always remember the first and the last. And so, and of course, you're fresh off returning back from the NBPA Top 100 camp. We're going to talk about that a lot later. But your journey, a lot of people don't realize, and once again, Tavia Lucas. We didn't say who, the family of royalty, like basically the first family, one of the first families in basketball in the city of Houston. Even though you guys weren't born here, but you were technically raised.
She was born here.
No, I was born in Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The brothers, which one? Jay was.
Jay is the only one that's born here.
Okay.
Yeah. And now the cat is halfway out the bag.
Okay.
Explain to the viewers about your family. Who's your father?
So my father is John Lucas. My mother is Debbie Lucas.
It's there.
And so you are the middle.
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. You are older than
the oldest of 3. Two younger brothers.
Jimmy, that's why she was born in Washington, D.C. Come on, Jimmy.
I've known Hatter all my life.
I sure have.
Yeah.
So we go back to the Summit days in the back hallway.
Don't tell them that about all that.
He used to buy Girl Scout cookies for me.
I sure did.
So you were pushing Girl Scout cookies?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to get brownies.
Yes.
He would buy in Ralph Sampson.
I'm dating myself, but keep going.
And of course now coming up on the East Coast in those days, you went to high school in Philly.
Right. My 10th through 12th grade year. So my freshman year I went to Bel Air. Then my dad took the job in Philadelphia for the 76ers. So I graduated from Lower Merion High School right outside the city.
And that school was pretty popular for a young man that was playing basketball at those days. And who would that be?
Kobe Bryant.
So
the Plot Dickens.
You were in what grade? Y'all were in.
He's a year older than me, so when I got there, I was a sophomore and he was a junior.
And so, tell us about that experience. So, Kobe, you got a chance to learn to know Kobe
Yeah, so it was only 1,200 kids in the whole school, and it was probably less than 75 blacks in the school. So when a black person came on campus, it was like a big thing, because it was a new black person in school. And
Sheffield High School, Memphis, Tennessee. Keep going.
Okay. So he would always say, this is before basketball season started, and he knew who I was, but I didn't know that his dad played in the NBA.
Oh, okay.
So he would just say how good he was in basketball. He was like, yeah, I'm pretty good. You know, I'm probably one of the best in the country. So I really didn't think.
Wait a minute. I'm pretty good, but I'm probably one of the best in the country.
So
okay.
I didn't think anything of it, because coming from Texas back then, this was 95. Basketball probably wasn't that big of a deal like it is now.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. So then I went to the first game, and he started off at the 5, but he would end the game at the point, as a point guard. So I went home and I told my dad, I said, there's this kid named Kobe. I was like, he's about 6'5", 6'6". I said, and he's starting at a 5 and ending up as a point. Now, mind you, my dad would be like, oh, I did that every night at Hillside High School in Durham, North Carolina. So then, like 2 games later, I'm at the game, and then he does a 360 slam dunk in a game. And you would only really see that at the slam dunk contest or at the NBA game. I never did see it at a high school game. So I came back and I was like, he's doing 360 slam dunks in high school. I was like, oh, he's probably okay. So then he was coming in on 1,000 points. And they made a big deal about him scoring 1,000 points in high school. So I said, well, Dad, you should go to the game today because they're having a ceremony because he's going to score his 1,000 points. My dad, oh, I scored 1,000 points every year. You know.
He did.
I'm one of the best to ever play in the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
You know, so he goes out and everything. So then finally, after everybody goes to see him play, they're going into the first round of the playoffs, and I finally get him to come to a game. And he really didn't want to come to a game because I thought they were coming off like a 15-day road trip where they had lost 12 of the 13 games. The 76 is when he had. So we finally come there, and we're in the concession stand, and we run into Kobe's dad. And so my dad was like, Jelly Bean Bryant, what's going on? And so he introduced us, and they played together at the Houston Rockets. At the time, I didn't know that.
That's right. That's right.
So my dad said, my daughter has me here at this game. I'm coming to see some kid named Kobe. He said, well, that's my son.
Wow.
So that's how the connection started. So that game, I think Kobe had like 35 and 10. He may have even had close to a triple-double that game.
What year was in then?
This is 95, 96.
I mean, what year
I'm sorry.
What was he, freshman?
94. He's a junior.
He was a junior?
Junior in high school.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
So then, my dad wasn't impressed, and the next day...
He wasn't?
He was impressed.
Oh, he was. Okay.
The next day, he had him in the gym with the 76ers. And that whole summer, he trained. And that was the summer that... It must have been 95 because Jerry Stackhouse was in the draft that summer. Antonio McDyess.
Yeah.
He would play them hard, if not beat them in the one-on-one on the summer. Him and Vernon Maxwell had some dog-out fights in the gym that summer.
Wow.
And it was a big jump between his junior year and his senior year of high school.
Okay.
But like I was telling Jimmy, and I tell anybody who went to Lower Merion, a lot of us learned what a dedication and work ethic was probably from Kobe. Because nothing deterred, nothing set him aside from his focus. It was, they opened the school early for him, they would close the school late for him, and he didn't really do too much socializing outside of school because his focus was basketball.
So his vocation was basketball.
Yes.
Okay.
And so your dad, as a result of having Kobe in the gym, ended up getting a fine.
No, so Kobe did it, and then I guess a couple of years later, LeBron
did.
Out,
that's when it happened.
And then he got the fine for the Cavaliers, but they wasn't fining people when Kobe was in the gym.
No, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't worried about it then.
And when Kobe was drafted, so my dad put him with the strength coach, Joe Calderon. So when Kobe was drafted, he hired Joe Calderon and moved him to LA as his personal trainer. as a personal trainer.
Wow.
And I mean, this was remarkable. Live in the studio, we have Tavia Lucas, and she's reflecting back on her days as a high school student at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia. Did you play any sports in school?
I did. I played basketball.
Oh my goodness.
Which I was horrible at.
And tennis. I know you played tennis.
I played tennis, which I wasn't that good at either. But I didn't really practice. Like I learned enough to play.
Okay.
So my dad taught me a layup and how to shoot a free throw. And then I worked out and trained during basketball season. When basketball season was over with, I did nothing else until it was time to try out again for basketball.
You know my favorite John Lucas story? John Lucas, Jimmy, was my hero. I like to tell him this. But because I played basketball and I played tennis. And he was an All-American, first team All-American in tennis.
Yes.
And first team All-American in basketball. Only person to ever do that. He was my idol. Yeah. And then I moved up to Houston and got a chance to meet him. So don't y'all tell him that, because he gonna mess with me. But I never forget he told me something. He said, man, if I always remember, you good, but I was great.
Yes.
I said, wow.
And you know, when I was younger, we really didn't know. Like he would say how good he was, but
right.
you really didn't pay him any attention. Then they had the NBA All-Star in Washington, D.C. one year.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we went there, it was evident that he was pretty good because many people remembered him from his Maryland days and his Bullet days. So,
that's right. See, people don't understand the Bullets are, we're going to take this break, but the Bullets are now the Washington Wizards. Because they didn't like that word bullet, because there was a lot of bullets flying back there in Washington back in the day, so they had to change that name. But Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute with Jimmy and I and Tavia Lucas. We'll be back in a minute. Chop Shop. I don't know what's going on with that.
Good job, good job.
I still got to tell my,
what you got?
I didn't finish the, what you call the story.
Which one?
Oh, you tell me.
Okay, yeah, okay.
What story?
About
some more stuff about Kobe.
Oh yeah. We got to finish that. We got to talk about the prom and everything. I remember that.
You put it up on your Facebook, you can share the show. A lot of your followers will know you on. They can see you on.
How do you do that?
You can go when you go to the
search bar.
You'll see it on the red. We'll be live down there somewhere. There you go. You click on there. You cut your volume down. What Sam said? Oh, she had a question for you.
Oh, somebody had a question. Hey man, let me tell y'all something.
I'm impressive.
What you call these names?
She was asking you a question. They can hear you talking right now on the break. Sandra asked you a question. Well, this is how you share. You share. If you got a group, and you share a group, you got a certain person, you can pull it up and go to a certain person. And let them know you're on.
Let me see you saying the right. I've been saying the girl no. What's that? Have you seen another player with the work ethic close to Kobe Bryant?
I would have to say no.
What?
He do. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Yeah. What was his work ethic in high school?
I mean, he was in the gym before school, after school. He never had an excuse for not working or not trying out. You know, not working, not playing.
Okay.
Whatever it was, every day when my dad had an open gym he could come to, he was there every day. It was never, I'm sick, I'm tired, my leg hurts, nothing. I remember when John came off the 2005 NCAA run.
Right.
And we saw Kobe at the Rocket game that following year. And John was so excited to see him because he had put in all this work. You know, it's like, oh, Kobe, we've been in the gym. We're in the gym 8 to 10 hours a day.
That's
what John was telling Kobe. We're in the gym 8 to 10 hours. Kobe looked at him, didn't smile, and said, I do 12 to 14.
Lori Dyson speaking to you.
Hey, how are you? It is been a long time. Travis's mom.
That's right. He's not Damian mom. She's not Damian mom. She's Travis.
Yeah, I like that. Laura, I like that.
We were in Vegas. We were out in Vegas for AAU.
Okay.
This is when Jay played. And one of the referees had knock knees, and he was horrible referee. She called him knock'ems the whole
She called him knock'ems?
Yeah,
come on, Laura. 10 seconds. Bring it back, Jim.
Welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Don't forget, guys, we are streaming live right now via Facebook in what we call the Boom Boom Room. Simply go to Facebook, type in ChopShopHTX, ChopShopHTX, and there you have, you not only can view us, you can interact with a lot of the viewers from all over the world. And that is a cool thing, and one of the things that makes the Chop Shop one of the most remarkable and comfortable atmospheres to dialogue about sports in the United States of America. Of course, in your radio dial, you're driving to your vehicles in a great looking afternoon in the greater Houston area on the Power 101.5 FM KHSX. It is. Toot your horns. You know, throw a peace sign up to the neighbor out there. And don't forget, guys, today of all days is very special, and you know, it makes sure you take out the time to reflect and share your interpretation or meaning of Juneteenth as it is in Texas. Of course, Juneteenth, 2.5 years approximately after Abraham Lincoln had freed, announced that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. That's when General Granger sailed on up to the port of Galveston, Texas. Remember I told you Galveston was hot back in the days, guys.
Jimmy, that was your port, Jimmy.
Well, I mean, it was hot. Because guess what comes through ports?
The sailors.
And everything they bring with them. From where
The
they
sailors,
from.
and you know where there's ever the sailors at, you know what else on that
So
port.
that means the underbelly was there. That means the mafia was loaded in Galveston.
There might have been some drugs coming in
No,
there.
I know, might be.
It was.
They had them, man, they had it jumping. You know, and so that the word, he announced that the slaves were free in Texas. When this, you can go and look it up and read the rest for those. Because a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many of your relatives that don't live in Texas aren't familiar with Juneteenth. And it's going to be a fight for it. You know, it's been fights, but right now today, you know, ironically, on Capitol Hill in Washington D.C., they're having the Judicial Committee, the House Judicial Committee are hearing briefings on the conversation about reparations as a result from the slavery. What's his name? Donald Glover? Is it Donald Glover? The actor. Danny Glover?
That's the one they said who looks like me with his ugly butt.
Yeah,
I guess I'm ugly.
That's the one.
Oh, thank you, baby. You come on anytime.
That's the one who Oprah put the sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Man, on Color Purple.
Yeah.
But live in the studio, we have Tavia Lucas. And Tavia, I mean, guys, she's the daughter of John Lucas, the brother of John and Jay Lucas.
The sister.
I'm sorry, sister of those two siblings. And of course, Jay is an assistant coach at University of Texas.
Yes.
Where he played at. And before we get into that and the rest of the family, you were talking about Kobe Bryant. You went to high school with him at Lower Merion in Philly. He was a grade ahead of you. But as you got to meet Kobe, you guys had a conversation that years later you would reflect on. And tell us about that conversation with Kobe. You one-on-one sitting on the bench with him.
So it's funny because we had an athletic director, Mr. McGovern, and Mr. McGovern came to me my junior year, and he needed help in the athletic office, and he wanted me to make sure the scheduling was set for the buses and referees and everything. So that's like 22 years ago. So basically, it's some of what I do today for John Lucas Enterprises.
Okay.
But I was also in charge of sorting the mail for Kobe. He would get 75 to 100 pieces of mail a day at school. So one day I was taking him the mail downstairs after the off period, and we were sitting on the bench, and it was trying to figure out what he was going to do. If he was going to go straight to the NBA or if he was going to go to Duke. And he told me, he said, well, I believe that I'm good enough to go straight to the NBA. And the year before, you had Kevin Garnett go. And I think when Kevin Garnett came in the league, was he 6'7"? He grew to be 6'10".
No, he was 16 when he came
in
in.
at 16.
But when he was, I think, when he was a little younger, he'd always been tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, the only really other person I knew was Moses Malone.
Right.
You know, if you.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, I believe I can do it. He said, when it's all said and done, I'm gonna be one of the best to ever play the game. So 20 years later, I'm at his last game here in Houston, and we're sitting on a similar bench in the Toyota Center, and we're sitting and talking, and I said, do you remember when we were sitting on the bench back in Lower Marion and we had the conversation, and he looked at me and said, and I told you I was going to be the greatest to ever play the game.
He's a little cocky, something like your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the great ones are, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, and tell us, I mean, that part of all the great ones have a little edge to them. And why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jimmy, and you're
it
right. All
separates them from other people. Like, I mean, they were like, my dad tells me all the time, I'm the one, there's really nobody more famous than me. There's only two people more famous than me. And I was like, who, Dad? Who like, anytime we travel, because we travel together a lot. No.
Who?
He said, Jesus Christ and Beyonce.
Hey. Hey, y'all remember, what's the coach from New Orleans? Al Gentry?
Yes.
Remember what he said? He said, man, I wouldn't trade Anthony Davis for Beyonce. Guess what? He traded him for Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
He sure did.
For Lonzo Ball.
For Lonzo Ball.
He went from Beyonce to Lonzo Ball.
And in the terms of a Jamaican, and a blood clot.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
yes. And Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
Taking fun on
maybe they could have pulled Kuzman out of it.
Baby, they got enough.
Well,
they got 6 players for one.
Well, actually, I'm hearing that they were trying to pull Kuzma out of it, but the Lakers were creative enough to say that's one of the reasons why the deal didn't extend on to after the draft, and where the Lakers would have benefited from the luxury cap because of the fact that they wanted Kuzma. The Lakers say, look, we'll give you. How about if we give you this draft pick? We give you this number 4, and well, it's number 4 is number 9.
Number 4.
We'll give you this number 4, and we'll throw in some. How about we'll throw in another draft pick, optional for 2023. We'll throw in another one in 20. I mean, that's when all of that stuff came on in. And
the picks gonna mean something, Jimmy. Later on, we just talking about them like now. These picks, like this fourth pick. This fourth pick was really crucial.
Well, it means more if the Lakers don't meet expectations immediately.
Do you think they will meet expectations?
Well, the thing is, they're not through with the roster.
LeBron will be gone, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about immediately.
Okay.
I mean, in the next 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not done yet, and that's the thing. Tarvey, do you think the Lakers are done with their roster?
I don't think they're done with their roster.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to pan out like everybody's hoping.
I know somebody didn't play that. Somebody they rushed in. It was hastily about that trade, Jimmy, because it's a lot of stuff. It's just too much stuff in numbers to get into it. But it's a lot of stuff that was done hastily, and all the T's and all the I's wasn't dotted and the T's weren't crossed in that deal. And now Lakers got to come back, either employ other people to take some of that. Think about this, Todd. It ain't but 5 guys on the roster right now. Okay, LeBron, Kuzma, and these guys. Do you remember? Have you ever heard of Jamario Jones? No. And Mo Wagner, and what's the other guy? One more, Isaac Bonga. You probably never heard of him. No. Those 3 guys right now. See, this is what people don't understand about this NBA. These people can trade you anytime they want to. So when y'all out here get mad at these players, talking about they want to do this and they want to empower themselves, always remember they're just a commodity. Now the Lakers trying to get them off their books. These 3 guys. Think about it. These 3 guys got families, and they just hung in limbo because you wanted to get Anthony Davis. So Jimmy,
wow. I mean, once again, the NBA draft is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
And which is Thursday, and going into the draft, this Laker trade, it stole the thunder of the NBA championship game for a hot minute. It hijacked the moment.
Now I don't think so. Me personally, I don't think so, because the Kevin Durant injury and the Clay injury, that took some too. So it was like you was just punching, like you punched me 3 times in a row. So that's why the impact was so strong. I know it's strong, but the impact's strong, Jim, because you done hit me 3 times in a row.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that game, which was a toe-to-toe, all the way through in Game 6, it was a very climatic game. And
that was on a Friday night, though.
That was on Friday night.
So that it was over.
Thursday.
The Saturday night is when the deal was consummated.
Was it Thursday night, right?
No, I think it was on Friday.
It was Thursday. We watched it. We watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but
yeah, it was Thursday.
But I'm just saying
the college coaches couldn't have to be out on Friday.
But in other words, what I meant by it is the finals was over when this happened.
It hijacked the weekend.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I said hijacked the entire weekend.
Oh yeah.
So normally that would have been the headlines, but the headlines going into the weekend was it wasn't Pebble Beach, it wasn't the NBA Finals championship, it was this trade. And then now you're going and now the waters have calmed a little bit. And this morning, roughly an hour ago, another trade, not of the same magnitude, but if you are a Utah Jazz fan or a Memphis Grizzly fan who are officially in rebuilding mode, then you may have both equally may have a breath of fresh air, because the Memphis Grizzlies have traded Mike Conley to the Utah Jazz for 3 players and a draft pick, including Grayson Allen from the Utah Jazz.
And Jim, I know we're finna go, but that officially ends the grit and grind house, because Marcus All gone, Debo's gone, Randolph's gone, Tony Allen's gone, and now Mike Conley.
And those 2 other players were Jay Crowder, Kyle Korver, and of course Grayson Allen are picked for Mike Conley. We'll be right back, talk a lot more. We got Tavia Lucas in the studio. Guess what? Got Women Rock Wednesday on the Chop Shop.
That's right. Women Rock, Dora LeBlanc, what's going on? Jeremy Cunningham, what's up in Dallas up there? What's up, Jeffrey Day?
Jeffrey Day, you would pick them up on what team, Jeffrey Day? You said you would pick up J.J. Redick and Patrick Beverly on what team? With whom? If you were the GM of which team?
They're gonna get picked up.
Tell me not the Rockets. Can't afford both of them.
Patrick Beverly wants his money.
Patrick
Did
Beverly.
you hear what he said in the airport?
No.
Oh, they stopped him in the airport. You know, usually players talking about, I'm gonna see what's best way for me to get me a championship. I'm gonna go, you know that old talk there, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Hear what Patrick Beverly said when they stopped him outside of LAX.
What did he say?
Man, whoever give me that bag,
that's what he said.
that's where I'm going.
I'm down with Patrick.
Whoever give me that bag, that's where I'm going.
I've been down with Patrick Beverly, and I'm really down with it now. That way, now in 2019, let's cut it out. All of those, guess what? Politically correct. That's great and fine for guys trying to come up in the ladder. He's in the door. Because a team, Patrick Beverly is not trying to find. He's not trying to find a team. A team gonna find him because he's proven to be that type of asset to a locker room. He brings the toughness. He's going to defend. Now he'll get his mouthpiece knocked out in the process. So remember, think about
it. Let Durant treat him like he's a bro.
Well, I mean, it was still but the thing was his ability to stand up into the challenge, even though he was no match. We knew he couldn't defend Kevin Durant, but psychologically, you like the toughness you saw. He'd get on the floor, Durant knock it down, he hop back up. He wanted to get in Durant's face. He even got Durant ticked up a time or two.
Oh, Dory says she here for Tavia. Oh, okay, all right. But but you know what got me though, Jimmy? They asked him again. You know how TMZ gonna ask you again with another way? Well, what if it's the Lakers or what is the Clippers? He said, man, whoever give me that bag.
But you have to respect that.
I got to secure my family's future. That's what he said.
Yeah, because you can ask. My dad asked the question to people when he interviews them. What would you rather do?
You don't have to talk in there right now.
Oh, okay.
We ain't on that now. You just that's all right. I got you, baby. I got you. That's what he said.
What would you rather do? Have $100 million or an NBA championship? And
$100 million. I keep trying to tell them, dude, be talking about James and be hating on James, talking about James get on the airplane. If I was 20-something years old and just lost and had a private jet waiting on me, I'm gone too. Y'all can get y'all ring. I got this 100 million, wait a minute, 400 million. I'm not thinking about y'all. That's how I think about that. Y'all think about basketball. I'm thinking about the bag.
Oh, my headband fell off.
I got you. Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside with Jim Hicks, and a special guest on Women Rock Wednesday. Miss Tavia Lucas is in the building from JLE.
Yes, John Lucas Elite.
John Lucas Elite.
Well,
John Lucas Enterprise.
And our AAU team is JLE.
We're going to get him a plug.
Our 15U made it to Peach Jam.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, first year.
So that's the good team. I mean,
oh, man.
no, sorry.
Our team.
No, sorry. You ain't got two.
Yeah, that would make all
What
of them.
other one didn't make it?
I mean, you know.
That's all right.
You
Okay.
say, oh, man, you know.
We had injuries. We really go to state.
Y'all had injuries? Oh, okay. Oh, no, don't say that around Jimmy. Jimmy said I can't use that as an excuse.
I mean, you know.
I can't use that as an excuse.
So now, of course, the JLE, the summer team, we have Tavia Lucas live in the studio with us. She's the daughter of John Lucas, and you know, a very, very powerful young lady who's coming along throughout the amateur basketball ranks. You know, bred into basketball by basketball royalty, and summer basketball. Now, this is your first year diving into the sneaker team sector, right?
Yeah.
And before you've been doing, you know, you're doing the camps. How many camps does John Lucas Enterprise do throughout the year?
We put on 7 camps,
Okay.
and we have 1 tournament.
And that's the All-Star weekend.
John Lucas All-Star Weekend. It's the first weekend in March. And we have anywhere between 100, well this past year we had 140 teams because we lost some gyms because of the storm. But we usually bring in about 160 teams from across the country. Last time they came from at least 25 different states.
This is the young kids, right?
3rd through 8th grade.
Yeah.
And so how long have that tournament been taking place?
We're going into our 8th year with the tournament. I've been working the tournament for 5 years, but we're going into our 8th year.
Wow, time surely does fly. And now the other camps, what are give us the names of some of the other camps or the
So in 5th and 6th grade, we have the Future of the Game Vegas, which is out in Las Vegas. It's always the first weekend in May.
Okay.
And then we have a Rising Stars, which is the invitational only camp, which is this weekend, June 22nd, 23rd at the University of Houston.
Oh, that's this weekend?
This weekend, yes.
Okay.
And that's for what grade?
6th grade. 6th grade invite only.
Now, what's this, the Rising, what you call it?
Rising Stars, invitational.
When is the Camp My Way? That's the first camp my son ever went to.
Camp Right Way.
Camp Right Way.
7th and 8th grade.
Yes.
So we have one in Chicago in August, the last weekend in August, and then we go to Southern California, Orange County in September. Then we have
You have one here, don't you?
We have one here in December, the 27th, 28th of December.
Okay, I remember that.
Then we have a John Lucas Middle School Combine that is always the 2nd weekend in May, Mother's Day weekend. And
Where's
this
that?
year was in Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
Yes.
Do y'all move it around?
No, when we lost Legends because of the storm. So the next year we went to Vegas, and then we were at Drive Nation in Dallas because I can't get the MI3 Center that weekend.
Oh, but we got another venue now, right? Have y'all checked out Rashard Lewis and venue?
Is that the one off of 290?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked at it?
Yeah,
Is it?
I have.
Can it put on a tournament? Is it?
I don't.
How the logistics?
They have the 4. I don't know. That's what I was telling my dad because they have the 4 NBA or 4 high school courts.
And 2 NBA courts.
Yeah, but you can switch it into 3 courts, which I couldn't visualize it.
Okay.
So I don't know. We like MI3 Center. We like the people at MI3 Center. So you know,
Well, so do that guy next to you too. So that guy next to you too.
Well, I mean, you understand the thing about the MI3 Center is black owned.
Yes.
And that's the only 100% black owned multi-court facility in the area. You know what I mean? We had another one with Reggie Slater, but that was way off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Out in Fort Bend County. And but now, you know, so shout out to the Irabor family. I mean, they've been holding on.
They have.
Because they were smart enough to put in the MI3 Center, it's 6 courts, but they have they have classrooms and they have an after-school support program in addition to a nursery.
Okay.
Which helps with the operations of and expenses for for such a large facility.
Gotcha.
And that's the thing about them. So I mean, now don't get it twisted. The internet sometimes, that's the,
But
that's.
Jimmy, I know you've talked to them about. Is it a problem with the building?
I think it's probably a problem with the building.
Because it's so
Signal.
much internet. All you got to do is call Xfinity, and they're gonna tell you, man, this is what I can do.
Man, they spent about $20,000 trying to get that internet, but it's something.
It is, once everybody gets in that building, it's shot.
Oh,
It's something deeper than that. And of course, if anybody's watching, and you guys, we're streaming live right now on Facebook, man, go to Facebook, type in ChopShopHTX. And if you're familiar or the Eero boys are watching, you can share with us and enlighten us with the internet situation.
Yeah.
At the MI3 city.
And the phone signal.
You have a signal.
But
It's
that's why
just.
I think it's the building.
Okay.
Because even like your phone, like if you're in the gym, your phone may not work.
Yeah.
I think it may
Depending on your carrier.
The structure of the building. They got something that
building.
building.
To the doors.
But
it's a great facility.
Oh, the great facility.
So the only we have all our events there. I know.
So how y'all get past the internet problem?
I mean, it doesn't affect me.
Don't
I
affect
just go to the front door. I'm not in the gym, and if you're in the gym,
Okay.
you're playing basketball.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
the people we're focusing on are the kids and making sure they're learning to play the game the right
Not guys
way.
like Robert Haddam
Exactly.
who need
The parents can't figure something out. People don't like figuring things out. They want everything instant. Which,
No, I know what I did. I just brought my hotspot with me. I know how to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And live in the studio with us, Tavia Lucas. And Tavia, the elephant in the room
What's the elephant?
right now is, and I understand the situation, like you're grown, so certain things you don't want to go into. You just say, man, I don't want. But the Houston Rockets, James Harden, Chris Paul, I know you can dispel some of the myths that we're hearing about this. I mean, and every day this week there's been a different report and going back. But my question to you is it that bad? Is it as bad as reported for the relationship?
that I don't know.
Good.
Because I'm never in the
Good answer.
in the gym. I don't know.
Great answer.
But I feel like when you have, and not just in this situation, in situations period, when you have superstars playing on the team, everybody wants to be Batman.
That's right.
And everybody can't be Batman.
Ego.
Somebody
Easy God
has to
out.
be Robin.
Mm-hmm.
So to win the championship, somebody has to,
You know what's so
take a
unique?
back seat to a certain degree, or know your role. Like know your role and play it well.
Stay in your lane?
Stay in your lane.
I got a question. People been bashing, talking about this stuff all week, right?
Right.
Jimmy came, we was a headline. But Jimmy, Chris Paul texted last night and said, all of this new to me. He said, dang, all of this new to me. James Harden convicted. No, I'm just saying, the story came out. So if we're going to believe this story so great, why can't we believe the player when he dispelled the story?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're so adamant to jump on him about the story, the little guy whoever wrote the story, who's not in there every day, and when the actual principals who y'all talking about, they come in and dispel and say, no, that's new to me. Man, that didn't happen.
Well, check this
Why
out.
you can't believe?
Check this out.
I'm just saying.
First of all, I can help you with that.
Yeah, help me.
Real simple.
Help me.
Chris Paul was replying on social media to a young man who had came out with another rumor on yesterday, and an article, and this was going a little deeper about Chris Paul demanding a trade and this and that.
Jimmy, I talk to people that know both parties.
No. We talking about you. You're talking about his.
But I'm just telling you. But I'm telling you now. I talk to people
Once
that know
again,
both
you're
parties.
talking about his reply. So I'm gonna take you there and show you how it's cold. One thing about it, it takes a lot of energy to go and put out a fire. Here's the thing: Chris Paul replied to that specific writer.
How you know that's who you?
That's who he's replying to.
How do you know that?
Dude,
I just asked a question.
go look at
How,
his Instagram.
no, I ain't got to look.
Well, guess
I'm
what?
asking you, how do you know that?
Guess what? I'll let you see it. I took a picture.
No,
of
you
it.
don't have to tell
He's
me.
replying.
I asked you a question. Since you
Hal,
don't refute what I just said,
Hal,
you got to have
so
facts.
let's just cut through this. Hal, you
got
think ain't
to
no
have
beef? You think it's no problem? You think it's no
I
problem
don't
between Chris
think it's bigger.
Paul? No, I ain't say about big. Do you think it's no problem between Chris
Dude,
Paul?
did I touch your nerve over there?
Hell yeah, you did. You trying to act like it ain't no problem? We know it's a problem. We ain't used to
All I'm telling you, sensationalists like yourself, sensationalists like yourself, it's a problem. It's a problem.
It is
when
a
the guy
problem.
come on there and say it's not a problem,
Yes.
you don't want to talk about that.
He was replying to that guy. And he said, that's new to me. So why didn't Chris Paul reply to the other people? Why didn't he reply to Stephen A. Smith? Why didn't he reply to
Stephen A. Smith said he called him and talked to him.
Dude, he didn't reply and say that was new to me. Why he didn't reply to the other stuff? So that's
Jimmy, he said it's no issue there. Stephen A. Smith said it this morning.
Hey man, the owner just acknowledged that was on yesterday, that there was a problem. Do you understand it?
What the owner
Oh
say?
my goodness.
What the owner say?
I read the quotes off on the radio yesterday. The owner acknowledged.
People are talking about it. It has to be somewhat of an issue somewhere.
So whatever that smoke, that's fine. But all I'm saying is, hold it. See, thank you for saying that, Tommy. If you're gonna run your mouth about the article, when the guy came out and said it's not a problem, Stephen A. Smith said it's not a problem this morning, why aren't you using that with the same venom that you used when you talked about the article? That's all I'm saying. Use the same. What's your favorite? The millennial. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy when the guy said it's no problem.
This coming from the guy that's not the Chris Paul fan, y'all.
But you don't have to be a fan to see that.
Who's not a Chris Paul fan?
That's a problem. You're not a Chris Paul fan.
Do you know Chris Paul's gonna be the highest paid?
I am nobody's fan. Guess what? Mike Conley was.
You James Harden fan?
No, I'm not.
You Steph Curry fan? You Steph Curry?
Fan is the root word for fanatic. I keep explaining. You don't never listen to me.
But fan,
I'm nobody's fan. Let's get that straight. I'm an observer and admirer of certain people's talent. I am nobody's fan. I don't throw that one on me. I ain't nobody's fan. I like the way
you didn't admire that. Hell, that's worse.
Okay.
You didn't admire of James Harden.
That's worse than your boy.
You didn't admire Steph Curry.
You're the fan. You're the fanboy. That's what they call a fanboy. I'm not a fanboy. So let's get that.
I'm the fan of the winning team.
You're not a fan of any NBA
No.
player. No.
No.
You
Never.
just admire their talent.
Admire the talent. Never been a fan. I don't care. They've never been a fan. I've always said that. Never. Fan is the root word for fanatic. Ain't no fanatic for nobody but Jesus. Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute.
And
put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's the only person I'm a fanatic for. Put that.
Well, you just say you're not a fan. You're not a fanatic for nobody.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You say you're a fanatic then.
Jesus.
You wasn't a Penny Hardaway fan?
No. Penny Hardaway, I represent him and I got paid. I had to be on his side. That's business, baby.
I feel you.
You follow me?
I follow
It's business. Everything, all this is business to me. even I love James so much. It's business. So guess what? Never a fan, baby. You don't never see me clapping at the game. Yeah. You don't see me clapping at the game. I don't care. Hey, I don't care who wins. Hey.
Jerry say, so what is Chris Paul's role? You mentioned staying in this lane. What's Chris Paul's role?
Chris Paul's role would be to bring the ball up the court.
No, James got to do that.
I know, but I'm just saying as a true point guard. I think
Charlie,
Chris Paul is what you would consider a true point guard.
Mm-hmm. So
we had the debate between scorers and shooters.
Scorers and shooters.
Yeah, I don't think Chris Paul is a scorer.
No, he's not a scorer.
He's not a scorer.
Not at this stage of his game. He could score and efficiently early on, but now with age, guys know that they're going to back off of him.
Hey.
So I think if he can't do what he's good at and he has to defer to somebody else, that could be a hard pill to swallow.
I know one thing. If I was James, I would have said to him, he can't get past nobody. I would have said that to him too, man. Give me the ball, because I can get past somebody. You can't get past nobody, because he ain't got past nobody. Chris Paul didn't get past nobody this year. And guess what? And I keep telling y'all, I blame Tillman Fertitta.
Why?
I wouldn't have never signed him to that deal.
I think he's getting like, he's getting 38
this year, 41 and 41 something.
He'll be would it be 36 at 41?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of old NBA players mad.
I wonder who we can.
We can't get anybody. Who's going to take the contract?
I mean, we got.
That's a good question. I had that topic right here.
Take the
I got
contract?
4 options.
Okay.
Got 4 options. I'll bring them up to you guys in the next segment. 4 options for the Rockets. That's out of the 4. I'm sorry, 3 now because one of them is gone, and one of them was Memphis with a 3-way deal. That really sounded kind of tasty for all 3 teams. So now there's only 3 options left that's valuable. That's kind of like could be a win.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Chris Paul came down here knowing that deal was already on the table.
Yeah, the deal was on the table, but the new owner didn't have to honor it.
He didn't have to honor it. No, you're right.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of the day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, with a special guest on Women Rock Wednesday who know her stuff. Tavia Lucas, she being politically correct, though, but a great, great place to be. I understand there's certain things I wouldn't answer either, but you finally find a person in your life that's not a fan, but for Jesus. So how you? So Jimmy, where you want to go for that?
and of course, we go into speaking of NBA talk.
Okay.
Chris Paul, we were talking about him earlier, and we'll change. We'll go and stay on the same freeway, but change lanes with it. And that is, there's no secret. The Rockets are locked in with Chris Paul to the tune of $124 million over the next 3 seasons. Let that soak in if it hadn't done so already. 124 over the next 3 seasons.
And he's gonna stay in the league to collect every penny of that.
I don't blame him.
You think so?
Yeah. He's not gonna retire.
So he ain't gonna sit down.
But if they retire, he still got to pay it.
Yeah, but he's still gonna be here.
I wonder what could. Hey, Jimmy, give me your. You talking about 14? Give me your. Cause I got a scenario.
I got some scenarios that. Now, of course, one scenario
Phoenix.
which was one.
Phoenix done enough to do it.
One scenario which was pretty much voided out or nullified this morning would have had.
Agreed.
And understand the Orlando Magic taking Chris Paul.
Okay.
And they would have sent Aaron Gordon, who's promising, very good.
What's in him where?
And DJ Augustine, who's a journeyman, came out the same year.
Okay.
Well, 3 years later than Chris Paul. DJ Augustine came out of high school in 06. And then
Send him where, Jimmy?
Send him and Aaron Gordon. Hold on, how did I know?
Come on, man. I'm trying to get to this there.
We got it.
Man, come from high school.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, just be easy.
Come on.
This is what this MBPA Top 100 camp, our committee looks like, doesn't it? At BJ's McKnight.
Oh, man, yeah. Worse than this.
Yeah.
They will send Aaron Gordon, DJ Augustine, the number 16 pick in the 2019 draft, and a future first-round draft pick that they would have extracted from the Houston Rockets, all to the Memphis Grizzlies. So understand, the reason I'm bringing this up is because
So what the Rockets get?
The Rockets would have got Mike Conley. So this would have been a deal, and that would have been, to me.
Who wrote that?
No.
Who wrote that?
Understand something.
Now give me the right of that.
Understand
Because I'm going to know not to never read nothing he ever say. Just give me his right.
This was reported by ESPN.
Who was the writer?
Understand something. Hold on, Hannah. Listen.
I got your
For just to be here, these were proposed deals. These deals that were proposed already. And this stuff leaks out already. Understand? It's at an all-time high of leaking out of intel. Think about it. So that means they obviously turned it down, which they had the right to do so. One of those 3 teams, but one of those 2 teams, Rockets trying to do whatever they can to get rid of Chris Paul. So now, of course, this morning, Memphis Grizzlies go head to head with Utah Jazz, and they'll say, you know what? We'll take Crowder. We'll take the young fellow from Duke, and also they got 3 players in a draft pick for letting go of Mike Conley. That's what they ended up doing. So that's the deal. Now another deal, the Rock, and I said it. 2 weeks ago, I said, and I was just my thought up. Now they get it from anywhere. The Rockets could go and get rid of their heavy trash, would be Chris Paul, in exchange for Boston Celtics heavy trash, Gordon Hayward, straight up. And guess what? The Celtics are going to lose Kyrie, and in the write up on I'm sorry, I say ESPN, CBS Sports is what this intel comes from. They said that Daryl Morey, of course, he's been known to pull off some miracles during his tenure. You know, he hadn't just struck out every time he swung the pole on trades. He's made some good ones.
What's some good trades he's made in your opinion?
Who, Daryl Morey?
Mm-hmm.
Trades, not acquisitions.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing. Some deals, Hannah.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
Some good deals and good acquisitions and good picks.
Okay.
And some good pickups.
We just give
So
me
who
one.
are
We
they?
just ask one.
It started recently. I like him picking up, and this necessarily not a trade, it's a pickups. We go through this season.
Okay.
This season was more pickups than trades because they did all the trades 2 years ago. Well, this season I like him getting Kenneth Fareed. I like him getting the Daniel House. Right, that's two. That was very, very, very instrumental. I like that move. I did not like the Ennis move last year during the off season. I liked what it could have brought, but then the chemistry of that deal was tainted with the Carmelo Anthony acquisition, because Carmelo Anthony, I firmly believe that Carmelo Anthony thought in his mind that he was coming here as a starter.
Oh, definitely.
You see, and that messed up the whole fabric of that Rockets, the dynamic that it could have been. He thought he was going to be a starter, and nobody told him, Melo, you want to, Then they started Ennis in the opening day lineup over Carmelo, and the rest was history.
Well, I was waiting on you to say this one. Austin Rivers was the best acquisition to me of last year.
I'm going down the line, Adam.
Yeah, but
I'm going down the line. I was going down this roster. I hadn't even finished from this year, but then you stole my thunder with the Austin Rivers. I was going down the roster. I think what Hatter just did, Hatter knew Austin Rivers next up on the pecking order and just wanted to name Austin Rivers before I got to it. Yeah, that's what.
No, I like Austin Rivers. I wish we could get rid of Chris Paul and keep Austin Rivers. That's me.
Yeah, but
I wish.
Austin Rivers is gone.
I wish I had a fifth.
He's gone. He's about to get a real bag from somewhere. He's going to be, seriously.
Okay, keep going.
Now, another deal from the Houston Rockets, the Phoenix Suns. They would have taken, it was a proposal for them to take Chris Paul, and they would have given up T.J. Warren, Josh Jackson, Tyler Johnson, and the number 6 pick in this draft. Remember, you package in salaries. So the salaries have to be within a certain percentile. And Chris Paul is said to make 31 mil this year?
Yeah,
38.
38 this year?
Mm-hmm.
So the salaries, and that's a lot of people may not understand, it's not just you can just take this. It has to add up and be within a certain range of the value that's compatible.
So all them 6 picks that they gave away for Anthony Davis added up to his salary, right? That's what you're saying?
For
Anthony Davis.
For the New York, talking about the Pelicans now?
Yeah, so all of them 6 guys added up.
For this year, not the whole duration of the contract. You follow?
I got you.
So it should be somewhere in the percentile of that. I don't know if it's 10% or whatever, but it has to be compatible, and that's the thing. And now the Phoenix Suns in this deal, T.J. Warren, he's an up and coming scorer,
We had him on once before. I don't think we really want him back. Rockets had him.
We had Patrick Beverly before too. We had Lou Williams before too.
Yeah.
You don't want none of them back?
I take Lou.
You take both of them. Patrick Beverly.
I don't know about Patrick Beverly.
No, Lou Williams would be more of an impact for us offensively, but Patrick Beverly would add something.
We need to win a championship.
But Tavia, don't put one team win a championship per year.
No, but I feel like we should be in the race.
The other 29 is going to be disappointed every year.
No, but I'm talking about the Rockets.
Why you think they should be with the way they play, the style of play? Why you think they should be there? Because they got James. Is James that great?
No, because I think that we can be in.
You can say that. If he that great.
James Harden is a very, very good player.
No, is he that great? So tell me why we should win a championship?
I think with what we had, we could win it. We couldn't win a championship the last 2 years. This year and the year before. We should have beat the Warriors when Durant went down. We should have beat the Warriors when Durant went down.
That fourth quarter stunk.
Horrible.
Who you blame? Since you said you went down, we know you.
No, I'm just saying we should. I feel like Durant is probably one of the best probably in the game Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Did you remember
Yeah.
what happened when he went down though? When Durant went down?
Right.
What happened? This guy scored 33 points in the
Right.
second half. When he went out.
Right.
This little guy, a little guy.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, okay.
They say he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name.
I mean, yeah, Steph Curry's good too. I feel like Durant. Like, if I wanted to be a basketball player, I wanted to be Durant. Close to 7 foot, to put the ball on, put the
Oh, yeah.
ball on the ground,
Me
shoot
too.
the 3, bring it up the court. I would want to be Durant, even though they give him a hard time for going to the Warriors.
Yeah, they did. Somebody they gave him a hard time, and I
mean,
said,
it's not
I
anybody else
loved
in the
it.
league as good as Durant.
What Kevin Durant did is that he fell for the ultimate trap, and that is he publicly went to engage. I don't know, it was a world war, but he went to war against several guys in mainstream media, and all that did was it set himself up, because many people in mainstream media, in all facets of the media, everybody have allies and circles, just like pro players have allies and circles. So if you're attacking, first it was thinking with Skip Bayless when he was with the ESPN network on the show with Stephen A. And Kevin Durant went at him. Well, then people that was allies of Skip Bayless is going to be sitting there watching on guard. And then when it's time, when you're falling down, those allies collectively will push you. I mean, if you're in the metaphor, if you falling, they're gonna push you.
So when does he fell down?
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, when does he fell down? He's still a number one player.
No,
he had to get out of
falling down meaning that when you're going through turmoil or any type of adversity, or any, remember the Draymond Green stuff, and they're gonna blame, you're gonna put it on, they're gonna nitpick and find a way to get inside you, or keep picking and picking and picking.
Yeah.
Remember the thing about the narrative that came out, they're better without you.
But what do you think Kevin Durant believes that?
It hurt because
I don't think he believes that at all. If Kevin Durant believes that, I'm gonna
Something wrong with him.
smack him himself.
Something wrong with him.
Something's real wrong with him.
If he believes that.
And if you're gonna let Draymond Green convince you of that, you're even more crazier.
Well, guess what?
But I'm not a Draymond Green fan.
They headed for not to be in the playoffs. I know we got to take a break, but my mighty Warriors, they don't look that good.
They're not gonna be in there.
They don't look that good. Chop Shop. We'll be back in a
If they make
minute.
the playoffs, everybody. If they make the playoffs, people should lose
If
jobs.
the Golden State Warriors make this playoff right now, then Steph Curry is MVP, hands down.
My dad said Steph Curry is the best in the league.
Boy, I love your dad.
I love your dad.
Him and Barbara just had a whole 30-40 minute argument about it at the house.
Understand something. That's coming from the man who Steph Curry, his team. You remember your last.
Okay.
So your dad's last physical recollection, right there courtside, of Steph Curry was 33 in the second half against you that eliminated you. That's you remember
My
that.
dad is a trained professional.
Understand, but remember your last.
He's a trained professional, dude. And he said, "This ain't no just no dude."
Let me tell you something. The whole body of work has to go into the play, and we know Steph
you are a Curry fan.
I know, cause he don't know no better either. That's one of Jimmy's minions.
Steph Curry.
Like Skip Bayless, they're gonna take Jimmy's side.
Steph Curry.
Hey, don't
Steph Curry is super. We know he's great. But here's the thing about Steph Curry. Do you realize that Steph Curry has never made a go-ahead basket or a game-winning shot in his life in the playoffs with under 2 minutes to go in the game? In his life, I say it again, he's never made a go-ahead basket or a game-winning shot in the playoffs. I ain't going to the NBA Finals. I'm saying in the playoffs in any round.
But does that take away from him being
No, it takes the
best in the
clutchness.
league now?
It's, no.
And guess what, Tommy? What about the other 40 he hit before he missed them in there? If he don't hit them 40, he wouldn't even have a chance to get there.
Guess what?
Duh.
In game 6, he had that chance.
But does it have to be
Against
clutch
Toronto.
to be great?
You don't have to
That's what I'm
do.
asking. Do you have to be clutch to be?
But I'm glad
That goes
a
into
trained
it.
professional
That goes into it.
that is a.
But I would. You
that
can't
doesn't-
argue with his number. Like his number is.
Boy,
Like, how do you argue
I'm
with
glad.
that though?
Yeah, Jimmy, come on, man. Come on, man. Thank you, John.
But
I'm
I
calling
think-
John after the show.
I think Robert Horry is very clutch, but people say he would. I mean, it's nobody more clutch than Robert Horry.
Yeah, he hit a lot of them, didn't he?
And they don't want to give him his due credit.
He hit a lot of big. What you considering him? He hit a lot of big shots. Big shot Rob.
Yeah, and you can't say that he was one of the best, but you can
You
call him
can't
clutch.
say that.
No, it's a different category. He's one of the most clutch. It's a different thing. Robert Horry would be one of the most clutch.
Right, but why does
So-
Steph Curry have to be one of the most clutch to be great?
But that goes, when you say greatest, that goes into the pot. We know he's
You
great.
see, I was juggling. I was juggling. Let me try. Hey, guess what? I just made it. Oh, it's Wednesday.
So it's a little before my time, but was
Tell me.
Oscar Robertson, was he considered clutch?
All right, welcome back to the Chop Shop. Your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Man.
Oh my goodness, I love Tommy.
Boys. You got live in studio Tommy and Lucas. Had us going crazy over there.
See what I'm saying?
And so we were talking about so much stuff. NBA talk last segment. Don't forget Women Rock Wednesday. I mean, I told you guys, it's going to be one heck of a conversation, one hell of a day in regard to Women Rock Wednesday. Shout out to all the ladies out there who are at work, at home, driving down the freeway. Shout out to you guys on this Juneteenth holiday. Tommy, do you think Juneteenth should be a national
It
holiday?
should be a national holiday.
Why? Y'all the one that get the news on time. We got it in Memphis.
So you think. So they say.
we got it in Memphis. Y'all was up here talking about. Y'all still out here? Yes, sir. Y'all. But how many more years after that, Jimmy?
Huh?
How many more years after that?
After what?
Two years.
2.5 years.
It was 2.5?
Yeah, well, almost 2.5.
I know it was
So,
2 years.
so we out there walking free down there in Memphis on Beale Street, and y'all still up there getting it in up here.
Nobody was really
But
walking.
Jimmy, all kidding aside, I was just kidding because it's a special day. And Texas is so big, so to get to everybody, it might take 2 years to get to everybody. But Jimmy, why do you think it should be a national holiday and it didn't affect the nation?
Well, because it would take a multitude of the rest of different states to get on board and to help pass that.
No, I'm asking you why. In your mind, why do you think it should be a national holiday? Because it didn't affect the nation. It just affected some of the people in Texas. I mean, I understand because you have Texas history, I have Tennessee history, I got Florida history. We got certain stuff that happens in our state that is not national. That's what I'm trying to say. So what would make you think it should be, and I'm not being sarcastic, I just want to know, because I support it, I live in Texas now. So what would make you say, hey, it should be a national holiday?
Well, for starters, in regard to Juneteenth, understand, for compassion of the wrong and the damage that was done, even before the 2.5 years. Remember, when they came with the news to Galveston and rolled the boats in to make the announcement that the slaves were free, that was 2.5 years later. Still, there were people in Texas that they basically revolted. And a lot of the guys who came in from the Civil War, the Confederate, the uniforms on, they went to mass lynching, killing black folk, because black folk was like, we free, because part of that agreement was any labor relationships between that was previously between a slave or a black person and their owner, or not the owner, their previous owners, will hereby be known as a work labor. It wasn't slave or indentured servitude or nothing like that anymore. And so, understand, all of that damage, and then you think about around the United States, how many people that have Texas roots that were affected by that. And that's why you say, well, why couldn't you, to answer your question, why should it become a national holiday? That's why. Because it would make the whole country be consciously aware, listen, we messed up. We apologize. We know it only affected Texas, but indirectly it affected the entire union. Because if Texas would have known and been on board, then a lot of the ways of some parts of Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, it may have changed. Who knows? Because that's as a bigger state as Texas was.
Well, Alfio came on and said, Hatter, Juneteenth, Independence Day, our Freedom Day is an American holiday that commemorates June 19th, 1865. I don't know where he got this information from. It's Alfio Beasy on our Facebook feed. It's not Robert Hatter's words, okay? Announcement of the abolition of slavery in the U.S. state of Texas, and more generally, the emancipations of enslaved African Americans throughout the former Confederate South of America, states of America. It is the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States. So, okay, okay, I got you. I like that. I like that. It's the celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States. So of course it's a national. That's all I needed. See, dude, that's all I needed. I understand that now. It ended. That's national. You Jimmy, I thank you, Alfio. I don't know where you got this information, but guess what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go study on Juneteenth, because I never really studied up on it, because we didn't teach it. I grew up in Tennessee. We didn't teach it. I didn't learn it until I moved up here. So
I mean,
we didn't celebrate it down there, and maybe we should have been celebrating.
And a lot of people in Houston, you realize. So the push is to make this date when they say national holiday, it's observed.
Okay, it's an American holiday, but not a national holiday.
Whereas the holiday mean that
you get off.
The banks are closed.
Yes.
You know.
I like that.
Well, of course, it's no school, but no summer school would be held today. You know, no mail would be ran today. You understand? So this goes into it. It's important, and like I said, and every time this topic comes up, it's going to end up somewhere around the circumference of, or within the circumference of slavery, because you can't talk about Juneteenth without talking about slavery.
Yeah, you can't talk about slavery without talking about Juneteenth.
And then sooner or later, you get into the conversation about slavery, and for people that are proactive, that conversation is not going to be indulged in without ending up in the topic of reparations. Right. So that's why as soon as they see you coming with Juneteenth, they close the door. You know, it's a good day. You know, get some chicken and make some barbecue if you want to, or whatever.
But we should get our reparations.
Wow.
Yeah.
They gave it to the Japanese when they put them in a concentration camp for Pearl Harbor.
They sure did.
And the latest comment from one of the senators just last week was, this is how ignorant that it gets. He says, I don't remember which one. He says, the people that did that, none of those people that did that to your people don't even live in it.
But that,
I'll find that quote. You guys can find the room and let us know that.
But while we're doing that, Jimmy, we got to do our starting five right now.
Yeah, starting five time.
Starting five time.
And of course, our starting five is the first 5 viewers who log on to our Facebook feed. And, you know, and this is our way of acknowledging you guys. Giving you a little office work credit. You know, if you're in your vehicle, we give you some car credit. If you're at home, you got home credit. This is our way of saying thank you guys for making the Chop Shop for what it has become. And of course, in honor of Women Rock Wednesday.
Oh yes.
Without further ado,
I got
our starting five.
I got my five. I got five, and I got a 6-man, a 6-1. I'm sorry, a 6-1. Okay, Laura Dotson, Dora LeBlanc, Heaven Dorsey, Marquessa Carter, Charles. What else I got? Sandra Menchaca Hicks. And my 6th man is Pam Hale, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, in the Chop Shop today. What's up, Pam?
Well, I mean, you just said it. You just stole my thunder again. 5 out of them 6 you just named, 5 of them was my starting.
Okay, that's all right. We great minds think alike.
So that we go. So of course today's this starting 5. I mean, guys, you see how we do it up in the Chop Shop. It is nothing like the Chop Shop, indeed. And for today's Chop Shop, of course, is brought to you by the Robert Ory Sports Medicine and Rehab, and they have collaborated with Mike Rozier for his Heisman weekend. And on this Saturday, they will have a luncheon with the kids in honor of their fathers. And these kids, many of these kids, young men, will have lost a father due to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a luncheon with these kids. These are fatherless kids. And what we're going to do, we're going to give away a pass for someone, a parent, to take their kid to this dinner. This is, and I said dinner, this is luncheon. Sorry. This will be Saturday. It's going to be at the Wyndham Energy Corridor. That's over off I-10 West, the Wyndham Energy Corridor. And it will take place, understand, the tickets are $50
mm-hmm.
a pop.
For the adults,
And
35 for the kids.
And 35 for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give away a pass for a parent and a kid to go.
Okay. And Jim, I want to add something to that. I happen to be looking on Facebook, and they have a lot of events. They got a golf tournament. They got a couple of more events accommodating up to that event. So if you go, I don't know the exact website it's on because I just glanced over it. But Jimmy, also we got a sponsor today too. We got to talk about the shirts we wear and the shoes we wear. The sponsor today, Nike basketball is sponsored the Chop Shop.
Women Rock Wednesday.
And Women Rock Wednesday.
And so absolutely.
Yes, let's come on now. We can't forget about it.
That explains why we suited and booted on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And, you know, got me in uniform, got me looking like him.
Pink lady.
And so, but now, once again, how would they be able to get these tickets? We'll open up the phone lines, and that would be 346
330.
9473.
Look at us, boy.
346
330.
9473. You call in if you want to take this with me this Saturday. The door, and it will start at 11:30 to 1. It's lunch with the Heismans.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hosted by Reverend Bishop James Dixon.
Jim, you ought to see the Heisman guys there. Heisman is a small family. It's 37. It's a small family of guys. Mike Rozier, I think Tim Brown, there's a couple of more
Andre
guys.
Ware.
Andre Ware, yes.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance to do that all the time. Then you can go play golf with them. So find it.
Well, it's a good connecting spot. Then you take some photos and that's what I say.
Yeah.
A young person to there, and so they can connect to our history and our stars of yesterday with this luncheon. Guess what? And it's a free grub.
Free grub. Free grub.
It's free grub as well. So when you guys hang right there, we got Tavia Lucas in the studio with us. We come right back and talk some more hoops as well as John Lucas Enterprises.
Yeah.
You guys, this is gonna be great.
She got her little shirt on. She got her little John Lucas shirt on. Ain't bring me no shirt. I got enough shirts. Hey, I wore Jimmy's shirt yesterday.
Are we talking top 100?
Yeah.
My computer died.
You mean it went
Yesterday.
out?
Yeah, I had to get a new computer. Out of all that work.
Well, mine went out, what, last month?
All that work.
I wouldn't know. Look, where did you take it to?
No, I just got a new one.
You didn't take it to try to get it revived? You should have took it to the
I still have it.
Amera experiment.
How old is it? How old is it?
6 years. But we were doing the book, the college book. And good thing it didn't die on us
They could have.
in Charlottesville.
I remember I told you sent me that email, send that stuff, and I ain't reply.
Oh, so that's what was helping you doing the college book?
No,
you talking about you?
her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that was her computer.
Excuse me. Oh, that's
And
okay.
Sandra,
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying y'all trying to get these packets out.
Yeah.
getting there, putting them all together.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah,
And
that's what.
FedEx copied the wrong sheet.
Oh yeah,
330.
not once, twice.
So that happens sometimes. That's on their dime, though, right?
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you want it to be, you gotta remind them. They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna stand on their own. They got them ready. They got them right.
What up, everybody out there? What y'all got? Anybody got questions? John Lucas Enterprise? Them events, you know, they have some events that you got to be invited to. They have some. Hey, Mika. Mika is in the building. Mark Weber is in the building. Mark Weber.
Mark Weber, what's going
Mark
on?
Weber is in the building. Bo, what's up, Bo? Give me Curry any day. Bo. Just say give me Carrie any day. Don't mention my other nephew in that bowl.
Somebody said they serving caviar.
Yeah, because it ain't $50. Man, you ain't getting no caviar for no $50. I don't know what caviar you talking about for $50. Unless you go sneak you some at the Whole Food store. But thank you, Alfio, for that information.
Curry over Harden?
Yeah. Yeah. Better teammate.
I'm not gonna let y'all break up my happy home over there. I'm not gonna let y'all break up. I want them both. I can't pick between both of them. Y'all think y'all gonna trick me?
Good,
Well, one thing about him, come fourth quarter. Come fourth quarter.
Does he win MVP this year?
They gave it to the dude that didn't make it to the finals.
Who?
That other dude.
The Greek Freak?
Yeah,
I think the Greek Freak should have won it.
No, he shouldn't.
Last year his team was in 8th spot. This year was in 1st place. I like the Greek Freak.
Who is that saying? Welcome back. Welcome back. Go on, Jim.
21 minutes after the hour, the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour. The best 120 minutes of your day. What's in your cup right now? Listen to this. Listen. That's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
gonna slide down Dino's back.
A little early. Anyway, we have Tavia Lucas live in the studio, and this past week, a week ago, we were in Charlottesville, Virginia, for the NBPA Top 100 camp, and this camp is, we've just started a couple of days, and it's the only camp in the country where, regardless of sneaker lines, the kids are flown out. They attend free of charge. They're housed, they're fed very well, buffet style, and they get to compete against a lot of top talent from across the sneaker lines that they would not normally play against during the summer. And this past week, one of the Tavia, you were heavily involved with the administrative side of the Top 100 camp. And so, just in a nutshell, explain to them what you do with the Top 100 camp.
So, my dad, John Lucas Enterprises, a selection committee of the top 100 of evaluators from across the country. And so they select the top 100 that come to Charlottesville to participate in this. And this was the first year that college coaches was able to attend.
Okay.
So we had close to 350 college coaches in the building. We had 70 NBA scouts. And I think, Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, for the past 5 years, the #1 ranking has come out of that camp. So I'm in charge of the roster.
So the kid who, the #1 ranked player usually come out of that camp.
Usually comes out of the camp.
Like James Wise.
Yes, he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
Zion Williams.
Oh, Zion? Okay.
A couple of years ago, Ben Simmons.
What about the other kid they talking about was so good they're gonna get drafted by the Knicks from Duke? The kid from Canada.
Barrett.
R.J. Barrett, was he there?
I think we had RJ. He was at USA Basketball. He was at Canadian basketball.
Canadian basketball. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep on going.
So I'm in charge of the rosters and the book. So I had to get the book together, put them on teams. We do an evaluation for each player, and then we provide all the necessary information for college coaches to recruit the kids from that camp.
So the first time in college, I know that logistics is crazy because you got different rules, and that's have you ever dealt with a live camp before you?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but technically, this was not a live event. It was an evaluation period.
Oh.
So the college coaches could come out as an evaluation.
Okay.
It wasn't a live event.
It wasn't live. It was an evaluation period.
Yes.
Like you go to a high school and
Like
watch
you
it.
go to a high school and
Go
watch
on,
the
girl.
game. Yeah.
So Jimmy had gave me this distinction. He was trying to explain to our viewers about it was not in NCAA certified, but NCAA sanctioned.
Yeah, it wasn't
Did I
sanctioned
say it
event.
right? Okay, it was a sanctioned event, not
Right.
certified. Okay.
Right, it was a sanctioned
Okay.
event, meaning that the college coaches could come to, that it was all right for them to attend the event. And so I was in charge of the book for all the college coaches and the NBA scouts.
Oh, okay.
And
I need to
Jimmy
call them
and
coaches
Sandra
about
helped
the
me
book
out.
though.
They
You know,
said, didn't they say my book was good?
Alright,
One of the best.
I ain't talked to no coach yet.
No.
I'm gonna call your brother. I'm gonna call your brother and find out how good. That's what I'm gonna do. I know he was
Okay,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the book was, you see, what makes a book good for a college coach is twofold. It's bang for buck. And of course, the books were on the higher end compatible to a lot of the other books they're gonna buy this summer.
Well, of course, if Tavia do it, I know it.
But this book, you know, one thing that is guaranteed,
What?
is guaranteed that every phone number was a direct number to the kid or the parent.
Not the AU coach.
It was guaranteed that every email address was correct. It's guaranteed, and also was included in that packet was evaluations.
Why are you mentioning that to us? Is that important?
That's important to a coach.
Okay.
And for the intel to be correct.
Okay.
Also, what's important that makes a packet worth the bang for the buck for a college coach when they purchase these is if the jersey numbers are correct. And it's things like that are so small.
Oh yeah.
But if you go and you go to NCAA certified event, let's say those jersey numbers right now for an event taking place next month at the live event, or this weekend there's some high school events around the country that college coaches can go out and attend, Division I coach that is. Well, that coach may have submitted his roster 3 weeks ago. And let's say those jerseys they got some new jerseys. A new sponsor came in and bought that school or that team some new uniforms. And they have new jerseys. That person may not think it's a big deal, but in the coach's packet, it's gonna show all different numbers.
But I think those people know that it's a big deal. They just don't want to do the due diligence of doing the right thing.
How much time does it take to just do that? So who do I give that information to? So you telling me I'm an AAU coach, right? So how do I go and change my number? So I just got some new jerseys. Dorian Branch Enterprises just gave me some money. I'm finna so what do I supposed to do as an AAU coach?
Make sure that those numbers that they're wearing before you get the new jerseys are on the new jersey.
And who do I give that information to?
To whoever's printing the jersey.
No,
so if you have 45,
okay, gotcha.
You need to make sure you
The
have
same,
a
I
45
got you. Okay.
in the same jersey.
Okay.
It's much easier
So,
to give the kid the same jersey to stay out the whole time than
to redo all of them. Okay, I got you. Okay, all right. Y'all gotta help me out. I don't do this. I'm just helping. I'm just helping my people out here.
But also parents need to pay attention too. Don't let them keep switching your child's jersey number.
Oh man, and parents, I'm sure that they don't know the importance of that.
Oh, okay.
And kids as well.
They know now.
Because we had two kids at the camp on the first day. 2 kids went and switched jerseys.
On their own.
On their own, because one of the kid he told, they get to pick what size they wear. And, or we, by height, and they say, well, I wear, these kids like putting their sizes a little tighter than what it should be. So this one guy put down the size, and he got to the camp, and he was a little heavy, that jersey wasn't gonna give in. So it was snug. He switched with one of his teammates, and we caught it because if that would have went through the college coaches, and the college coaches don't necessarily know one from the other.
Right.
You can't take that for granted, and this is why it's important. But the thing about it, in this particular camp, pretty much 95%. I would go greater than that. I would say 99% of all the campers in this camp is a Division I prospect to the mid-level or higher.
All of them?
99%.
Even the legacy kids?
I say 99%. They would make the 10. They would make that 1%.
They would make the 1%.
Most of the legacy kids are Division I prospects.
Like I tell everybody, Steph Curry came in as a legacy kid.
In this very camp.
Oh yeah, he was not highly. You know what, Jimmy? I saw something the other day. I'm glad you said that, Tommy, and I'm glad you're here. I got a little summer ball topic. Cause I was talking about Pascal Siakam and his plight and how he came from Cameroon. He came from over Cameroon here, right? But his parents, when he first came, because his brothers came before him, when he first came over, all their parents wanted him to do is get an education.
Right.
Because they don't have, it's a premium of education over there. They don't have what we have over here, right? And his focus was never, Tavi, to be an NBA player. And it reminds me is that our system in this country, when it comes to, when it becomes corrupted by the impact of shoe companies, have on it in travel basketball, when we give so much to these young kids so early who are not necessarily able to handle it, we kind of to me twist the values on this thing. And I'm just watching it because if you ever listen to his plight and his mama just wanted him to come and get an education.
But that should be the main goal. That should be the goal of any parent who has their kid in a. It's not because when you look at people making $212 million, time to $212 million contract, you get caught up in it. But it's set up for you to get a college education. So if that can be a vehicle that you can use to get a college education, you should, and as a parent, promote it. There's no reason why if your kid ends up being in school for 4 years, that they should not come out with a college education.
Right.
If they're coming out of a school after 4 years on a basketball scholarship without a college education, it is something wrong. Because as a basketball player at any institution, they will make sure that you have anything you need to play and graduate. So at some point, it's up to them to get it done.
Right.
And then it gives you a leg up. Like, who wants to come out of college with $200,000 in debt?
They don't think about that part.
They think about it a lot more.
And then these kids too are a little, lazy in my opinion. They don't know what it takes to be great.
But if all of this been given to them,
well, that's part of the problem.
You follow me?
And the parents feed into that too. So if my child's not gonna get free shoes, or my child's not gonna get a free flight, or if you're not gonna pay for me to fly, then I'm not coming. Well, you got to do something. You got to feed. They got to do something. You can't give them everything for free.
But some of these parents start doing this as their kid as a living.
They allow it. You allow it. And if you don't do it, then they'll go somebody else. So now you have a child that doesn't know how to stay the course on anything, because if they're not doing what you want them to do, they're gonna leave. That's not life.
And if you don't allow it, and if I don't allow it, and the next person don't allow it, then where are they going to run? That's the part. And people are afraid. Where are they going to run? Trust me. And let that soak in. Right back on the Chop Shop.
Yeah, I know that touched me. That touched me. That mama said, I just wanted him to get an education like his two brothers.
But that's what he should be. They should be getting an education. Now you do have that player that's 1 or 2 that could leave early and go to the league. Yeah, but that's not majority. That's not majority of the people at the top 100.
And hold up, and think about this. Pascal wasn't no high drafted player. And guess what, Jimmy? He played in the summer league. He played in front of all these coaches. And they still didn't draft him. Them guys I hate to say it, them guys developed this kid up there. And guess what? He was the D-League, one of the D-League MVPs one of the year. That's why Stackhouse got the notoriety.
Was with the Toronto organization.
Yeah.
As a G-League coach, he won the championship.
With him.
But that tells you his hustle.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, most people gonna give up, I'm not drafted, okay, I'm not playing the D-League, okay, but the grind is, like John, my brother, he went to China, went to Italy, came to the league.
That's the hardest working man in showbiz.
Went to the D-League, went back out. It's not just.
But he loved the game. A lot of people don't love the game like that.
No.
Because I promise, my son.
There's a lot of people in the league now that don't love the game.
Yeah, they love that.
They want that bag.
And usually the game basketball will pay you higher in whatever level you do than any 9-to-5 job.
You're right. And yeah, it will.
But
just a few. Just a chosen few though. Everybody ain't gonna get that now.
No, but I'm just saying, even basketball, even if you don't end up being an NBA player, you should be able to at least be able to coach college, to be a scout. Like if you,
because you gotta have a degree.
You have to have a
college,
degree, but you should still know enough basketball and playing all
to move
those
yourself
summers
around
to do it.
Okay.
Like I know just enough basketball to keep my job.
Well, then you know the boss a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he may threaten to fire me every other day.
Have you ever threatened to fire you?
What? All the time.
No.
You work today, you need to be fired. What you do today?
I got to talk to him.
He would never fire me, but it comes up in conversation.
Okay. Now, it's unique that you said about people not liking the game. I got a little thing about this mental illness. A lot of these, they talk about these players, some of these players, they're saying, man, I
But
don't
that's
like
something black Americans don't want to accept. Mental health issue in the black community. You're gonna have to address
What's
that
up,
first.
Christopher Turner, Kevin Joseph, Waukesha Hayes is in the building.
Leaving high school, okay.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, excuse me, and your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, and the great Talia Lucas is in the building on Women Rock Wednesday. Jimmy, you surprised me with Talia.
You didn't know it was coming.
He told me, you know.
Sandra talked me into it. And
He
showed
told me
us
at
the
the
link.
last. Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah.
That's why Sandra is one of my starting five today. So keep going. Jimmy, what we got? What
Well,
we
we want
want
to give a shout out. I was waiting. We'll probably get a call next segment from a function that we are helping to sponsor downtown today, and the Chop Shop and RCS Sports has collaborated to feed over 200 homeless people, and it's taking place right now down at the Houston Public Library. So we're feeding them fettuccine and some other stuff. They're getting some good grub. Over 200 homeless that we're feeding today, and so want to
It's very nice.
yeah, I want to just acknowledge those people out there, and maybe we'll get a call later from one of the young ladies who's out there helping facilitate that.
That's so special.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do. You know,
That's right.
that's how, you know.
Hello.
So Women Rock Wednesday. Now Talia Lucas live in the studio with us, and give you guys also don't forget tonight, for those WNBA fans out there. What's my girl name? Candace Parker returned last night, and they got the brakes beat out there.
Where's she been? Hurt?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
I
her?
don't know what was wrong with her. She was hamstring. That's what Dodo tells us.
Yeah,
But they got beat by 27 last night.
How long?
The-
Hold up. How long she been out
The
there?
season just started last 2 weeks or last
2
week.
weeks. Clay came back the next day. No, that's right. I just had to do that.
Well, of course, now if you're a WNBA fan, Indiana's at Atlanta this evening. That game will be live on ESPN. I think one of the secondary networks. Chicago at New York tonight, and those are the 2 WNBA games on tap. You know, as what we do with Women Rock Wednesday,
What?
we kind of acknowledge, give you guys a little taste of what happened. You know, WNBA leading scorer right now, Phoenix Mercury, DeWanna Bonner, 23 points a game. Leading rebounder, Jonquel Jones with the top seed, the best team in the league right now, the Connecticut Sun. She's having 12 rebounds a game.
Mm-hmm.
The leading assist giver, Courtney Vandersloot with Chicago. And of course, how about the leading field goal percentage person?
Who?
Sylvia Fowles.
Oh, she been doing that for years. Yeah.
LSU.
That's her game.
The girls play hard.
She don't do nothing but make layup.
Yeah. Girls give it all they have
Yeah.
on the court.
Jimmy, your niece Raquel works at the Houston Library too.
The downtown.
Yeah. I
The
get
one
it.
downtown. She look outside, she'll see the homeless getting fed, and that's made possible by the Chop Shop and RCS Sports. So go get you a plate too.
No, you got to be homeless, man. Come on,
Jimmy, you have to be
Jim. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Whoever gave us that food, whoever donated that food.
What you mean we paid for it?
No, listen to me. Let me finish
Oh,
my
don't say
story.
that.
I'm telling you, whoever paid for the food when we had the hurricane relief game. You remember at St. Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you talk about fettuccine. You made me remember that fettuccine with black and shrimp in it.
Yeah, that was a restaurant.
Babbitt's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Babbitt's.
David Dennis.
Yeah, that was a restaurant.
Boy, that was
Guess who
unbelievable.
owns that restaurant?
Your homeboy, Tim.
Tim and Fatita.
Hey,
That's part of the
I
land
got
use
some, hey,
network. Yeah.
when we got off the air, Jimmy, remind me when we out there. I got some Tim and Fatita news for you.
Okay. Now, of course, now Tavia Lucas live in studio, and of course, she's the administrative matriarch with John Lucas Enterprise. And earlier we were talking about, people may not realize, your siblings. One is coaching at University of Texas.
My man.
Yes, Jay.
And that's Jay. And the other one was recently a assistant coach with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yes.
And understand, we were talking about the grind last week. Explain to people, and you saw the grind firsthand at the top of the show. You told us a few stories about your experience going to high school with Kobe Bryant, and at the time, and having those two brothers.
Right.
Which brother has the hardest grind, Jay or John?
John would have the hardest grind. When it came to basketball, both of them grind in life. They're good at what they do in life. But like when it came to basketball, John was gonna go to any extreme to play basketball, whether it was China, Italy, the D League, the NBA, back to China.
Right.
You know, he was gonna do that. Jay went to the Baltic Sea and played in Latvia for the year, and he was done.
I don't blame him.
He was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
One season, like the hell was
right.
Right.
So then he found another avenue, was coaching, and he went down to help Rick Barnes do a Texas team basketball or team summer camp, and then Rick Barnes offered him like a special assistant job, and then he went from there to, he was over basketball ops, and then when Shaka came on, he made him like maybe third assistant, and I think he moved up to second assistant now.
I got another question for you. They seem to be lacking you on this. We got to have you here more often. Tavia from Lionel Gar, do you support kids leaving high school for going college to play overseas?
I think it depends on your child. I think, you have to, if your child is good in basketball, but is not going to be productive in a classroom at a university, and then send him that way,
Okay.
But I feel like if your child is capable of doing it, then have them go and at least get an education or try to get an education. I don't really see a problem with it, going that route if that's what you want to do.
Would you promise? So what if it don't happen for him over here? He's gonna be, let's say he's an 18-year-old kid, and then he got to come back and go to school. So you got to have some kind of agreement. Junebug, you got to go to school at some point.
As a parent, you have to have. We can try this, but if that doesn't work, then you have to go down this path.
Yeah, because we've all tried different things.
Yes, like
you were educated at first, right?
Yes.
And look at you now. You're an administrator. You're from the educator now. You run things. But keep going. That wasn't said.
I taught 7th grade for 5 years, but I do know that school's not for everybody.
Right.
Like it's not for everybody.
Like Kobe, basketball was his vocation.
Yeah, but Kobe was still very smart. So he's not one like I can sit in, when I sit in my classroom, parents, I think, I don't have kids, so I don't know, but parents, I think, see their kids to be better than what they are, which they should, but they don't really look at the reality of what their kids are. And so I had to have a lot of conversations with parents is, you may want this child to be an A/B student, but he may not be capable of being that. So he may be capable of being, like I had students in my class that came to tutorials every week, turned in homework every time, and they were still CD students.
Okay.
So then what do you say then?
I like that, child.
I mean, so you say to your child, you tried your hardest, but it's like, you have to know your child. So if your child's not going to be college bound, then you as a parent need to teach them a trade. How am I going to make my child to make them be a successful, productive citizen in society? What do I need to do for that to happen? My child's not going to college. He may not can shoot a basketball, but he has to be productive.
That's
so as a parent, what am I going to do for that?
That's unbelievable. I'm glad you said that. Jimmy, I was just talking, I know we're going to break. I was just talking to my son last night. Jimmy, he has picked up a lot of your habits of financial wise. That man don't spend nothing on frivolous at all. And I'm sitting there saying, dude, so Dad, he was talking about somebody, needed something from him. And he said, but look here, Dad, I don't mind helping them.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but Dad, they can't be on Instagram flossing, buying drinks in the club.
Well, social media is the worst thing that ever happened to people.
He said, man, you buy one or two drinks. Then he broke it down. That's so and so amount of drinks because I don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
So he was telling me. He said, Dad, that's $80 a week. You had that. I'm sitting there saying, boy, didn't he sound like Jimmy?
Break it down.
I said, he broke it down to me last night, man. I said, wow, that boy. He said, get what he told him, Jimmy. If I keep doing and keep giving you and keep doing this, sure, I'm gonna be like you. I said, wow. I learned that lesson last night. Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute. Hey, Jimmy, blew me away. I said, he told me, Dad, you always tell me I'm tight. Boy, you're tighter than nuts on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
That man want to spend, he don't mind spending other folks' money now.
He don't want to spend
He ain't gonna, woo, Jesus. He talking about Mr. Chase. He said, if my count get down to too low, Mr. Chase guy called me because he gonna say, what the hell going on? Because I didn't understand what he's talking about for. He talking about Chase Bank, Dad. I said, okay, I'm not in the hell. Who is Mr. Chase? We just talked about this last night, Charlie. But we can keep talking. But I like what you said. You said, you got to know your kids.
You got to know your kids.
Know your kids. Know your kids. It's crazy. Yeah. What else you got?
We got next segment. We're going to Tavia give us some of her pet peeves. About in the amateur basketball sector.
You leave your man.
She about to give a sermon on that.
Jimmy, what's up with all this fighting? They fighting everywhere.
Well, Anthony Paul just posted on that, and I don't understand this. This is amazing.
The baseball fight.
So how can this fight make ESPN? Nobody got killed.
But the baseball fight didn't make it.
You understand? This is a baseball fight.
Okay.
It's on ESPN right now. Just posted a couple about that half hour ago.
Okay.
Police looking for a man in a brawl at a youth game.
Yeah,
How does this make ESPN? And we got fights every week in a gym somewhere. Nobody got killed. Nobody got shot.
Right.
Understand it? Nobody got taken to the, let me see, did anybody go to the hospital?
Did somebody die?
Nobody died. Now we know that.
So why you mad at them? What the people? We getting tired of people fighting that game. Shame them parents to death. They fighting all of them fight. They can't fight a lick either.
Yeah, parents get caught up. They try to live through their kid.
But
like I always get, my child is ranked such and such in the 6th grade, but he's just in the 6th grade.
But I blame the people that rank him in the 6th grade.
Or you blame the parent for letting them believe the hype.
I never forget. We little Bryce was in young grade. I started talking about Jimmy. Said, man, don't talk about him yet. 7th grade, don't talk about him. 8th grade. I said, well, when can I talk about it? He said, when he did in the 9th grade, he in high school. I said, okay. And now I understand it. You can't talk about him because a lot of times them 6th graders don't turn out to be good 11th graders.
They don't turn out to be good 7th graders. They don't turn out to be
the ref's jaw got broke, Jimmy. That is news. You get your jaw broke.
And then that parent needs to go to jail.
I mean, the front of the ESPN.
Jaw broke?
Okay, how about this one? And that's a good one. This just happened over the weekend.
Japan back, Jeff.
It was on Good Morning America.
49 minutes past the hour. That's 49 minutes past the hour. The Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour. The best 120 minutes of your day. Listen to this sound, guys. What's in your cup right now? Oh, man. That sounds good
in there, man.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a crown.
Hey, Jimmy, the good stuff, the ice just don't melt.
Jimmy, I went to an event this weekend. They had a crown. Don't look like your crown bottle. It was a nicer looking crown raw bottle than you got. That you be having. No, it wasn't. It was just regular, but it was a premium. Is it a crown?
The only way that a bottle, that type of bottle, look better than my bottle is if it's full. That's the only way.
I'm talking about the only way that
look better than my bottle is if it's full.
Well, it was full. It was full.
And so
Okay, well.
Tommy just whooped one open. You heard that?
What you got, girl?
Some get loose juice.
Girl, man, hold up. Straight vodka right here.
This kombucha you have a mom going.
Yeah, now coming up, so you're gonna give us some of your pet peeves in youth basketball. But first, speaking of youth basketball, we were talking during the break about the violence that has becoming so normal at youth sporting events. And earlier on the show, Marcus Fall gave us a link of a young person that was the umpire at a baseball game. And check this out, it made ESPN. It was just posted earlier today. Umpire allegedly got his jaw broken. There was injuries. Guess where it started? How old the umpire was? 13.
Yes, a little boy.
13 years old. So
Anybody
who's
hear him?
in charge of of designating a 13-year-old
They should have known better.
to be calling a competitive youth sports game?
That don't mean you got to fight.
The parent came out the stand and cracked that boy in his jaw.
Somebody, he didn't hit the little boy, did he?
You said the referee, the umpire got his jaw broke, you said.
I might have just put that. One, he said one of the refs.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of, this happens, once again, it was posted, we saw it on ESPN, and this happened over in Lakewood, Colorado.
Yes, you know the suburb of them.
Now,
It's suburb.
on this past weekend, there was an incident that took place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I just saw that.
Right? And a technical during a pickup basketball game, which was organized by the rec department, B-Rec, and it resulted in a brawl. And how about this? It was a female referee and a male referee. Both got significant injuries and had to be taken to the hospital. Guess who did it?
Who?
The girlfriend of one of the players.
The girlfriend?
There's something wrong
I
with
can't
people.
make this up, y'all. I can't make it up.
That's
The
not
girlfriend
fair.
of one of the players came out the stands and opened up a fresh can
A
of
whoopers.
on both of them. Anthony Favre, get your people down in Louisiana, man. Get your people.
Wow.
Get your people. Now, what are your pet peeves, Tavia, in youth, and since your involvement with the John Lucas Enterprises at youth sporting events? What's some of the things you just can't say?
One of my pet peeves is parents sending their kids with coaches, and those children are not registered, or they don't know what's going on with the kid. So you have parents who just send their kids with the coaches. Oh, I got them. They always have 4 or 5 kids to show up, and they're told, the parents are thinking that they're registered for camp, and they're not.
Oh.
So following up behind the coaches, like don't let a coach just completely take over the parenting of, whatever it is your kids are doing. And then kids today aren't, competing. Kids don't know how to compete. They lay down. They get tired. They're not well trained.
But y'all have them young kids a lot though, Todd.
Still, but by the time you get into middle school, high school, that's when it all starts. Like teaching them starts.
Okay,
man.
okay,
Like
I
you
got
can't
you.
teach
I got
a
you.
work ethic around 11th grade. That's a wrap.
So you have some
Like
level-
7th grade, they tell us 7th grade
Okay.
in development.
Mhm.
If a child doesn't have it by the 5th to 6th grade,
Mhm.
it's a wrap. They're not gonna get it.
Wow. I
It's
didn't know.
you've already had a generation lost.
And, wow.
Gosh.
So Tavia, we got to get you back in soon.
It's over with already.
See,
Yeah, we told you that.
I told you
how long
when
I'm
we
a big
started.
hair.
See, I said when we first start, you
Yeah.
gonna say, "What time is it over with?"
Yes.
Okay. We're now looking.
That chop shop.
In the words of
Chop
Tony
shop.
Montana, look at you now. And so, but anyway, we definitely, to tell the public how they can get in touch with you,
Yeah.
or John Lucas Enterprises from the future events.
JohnLucasEnterprises.com, or you can reach me, Target Lucas, at 713-632-4355.
Say that number again.
Ooh. Let me get that number.
713-632-4355. That's my office number.
Anyway, guys, it's time to yabba dabba to do this thing. It's time to roll down Dino's back. Coming up next, Al Rucker. It's going to take you for the next 4 hours. You guys hang right there. Don't go anywhere. Meanwhile, we'll see you in 22 hours. Chop, chop.
Y'all crazy.